and welcome to this video about the Lampeter Beer Festival, which has been produced today by the members of the Lampeter Round Table who run the festival. My name is Andrew James Davis and I'm joined by Rob Phillips and Rhys Jones. And we're going to tell you a little bit about the history of the beer festival in Lampeter. And I'm going to start really by asking Rob just to tell us about the early history of the festival.
Well, it started back in 2014. The Round Table organises a number of community events. We were looking for something different to do, and I'd been to a few beer festivals, had a bit of interest in small scale brewing, and I thought it'd be a good idea for us to try and organise a beer festival. So we decided at a meeting at the end of 2014 we were going to try to organise a festival, and we went for an unusual date. We decided to run the festival in February 2015. Usually beer festivals tend to happen in the summer and autumn, but we thought there was a bit of a gap in the calendar in Lampeter at that time of the year, so we decided we were going to go for February, and we went ahead and arranged then the beer festival for February 2015, and it was a resounding success. I think it's fair to say we were all a bit nervous about how it was going to go. I was quite enthusiastic, but others wanted to keep things a little bit more scaled down. But it was a resounding success. We sold out of beer. We had to dispatch one member with a car to Llandelo, to the Evan Evans brewery, to bring more supplies over, and by the end we also had to run to the co-op and we cleared them out of every bottle of Welsh beer they had, which we sold at that festival. So it was a great success, and it's gone on since then to grow and be more successful. And every year we produce a glass which everyone who attends the festival gets to keep. This is my glass from the first year, from 2015, which I'm very proud of, and I'm glad to keep it. So every year, slightly different logo, and anyone who attends the festival, you get one of these to drink your beer in and to take home with you to keep. And we have one from every year, and this is the one I keep now from 2015. So hopefully we'll be using that a little bit later on to try some beers.
And Rhys, I think the festival is an event that really brings the community together and showcases the best of Lampeter, I think.
Yes, very much so. It's something that the whole town has embraced. It certainly embraces the profile of Round Table, which does a lot of excellent community work and fundraising in the town. It's also great for the businesses in the town because it gives an opportunity for people to visit the town, not just for the beer festival, but also to shop and to enjoy a day out in Lampeter. It's also good for the relationship between the town and the university by holding it in the arts hall at the university. So really it ticks all the boxes. And also by now, the festival is very popular outside Ceredigion as well, and it brings in a good crowd from all over parts of Mid and South Wales especially to Lampeter on an annual basis.
And it's important, Rob, I think, that the festival showcases Welsh beer and cider and local produce.
That's right. I mean, one of the original aims of the festival was that we were going to ensure that we promoted local beer and Welsh beer. And we did that. Every beer we've sold at the festival since the start, and there's probably been the best part of 100 different beers sold over the last, probably more than that, over the last 6 events. All of them have been produced in Wales. The first beer festival, we were able to have beer from the 2 breweries in Ceredigion, the Mantle Brewery in Cardigan and the Penlawn Cottage Brewery in New Quay. And also we had some beers from Llandelo, from the Evan Evans brewery, over the border in Carmarthenshire, but still quite close. And we've been able to make sure that since then we've had beers from all parts of Wales. Shows quite a lot of variety, shows the different styles that are available, and to showcase the different breweries, and hopefully to introduce people to brands and to types of beer they wouldn't have had a chance to try except in the beer festival.
And I think we're going to sample some of the local beers in a moment, Rob, is that right?
That's right, we've got a few here ready to go. So we're going to try some beers from a few different breweries in Ceredigion. The first one we're going to have is from the Mantle Brewery in Cardigan. It's called Hoodwinked and it's the lager they produce. It's very, very nice. It comes either bottle or you can buy it in keg in some pubs. But it's a really, really nice lager. We've had this at the Lampeter Beer Festival on a few occasions. It's gone down very well. So everyone's got a glass. We'll have a try and see what everyone thinks. Look at that.
Look at that. Well, oh, that's fine. No, lovely. Yeah, nice and light, so not too sweet. So, a microbrewery like Mantle, obviously a small brewery. How does that compare to much larger breweries? You know, what's the setup?
Well, it's a different business model. Is one of the main things. A microbrewery in law is a certain size brewery. It pays a different rate of tax on certain things, which is designed to help the small breweries. The main difference is that, of course, it's handcrafted rather than being mass produced. It's a lager. It's brewed in the same way as lager is, uses the same base ingredients, but obviously it's a handcrafted product. It's hand styled. It's a premium product rather than you'd find from a large scale brewer. So it is slightly different in that sense, even though the core ingredients are the same. But it's sort of made with tender loving care.
Well done, Mantle.
Tell us about the second beer that we have here then.
Well, this one is, once again, it's from the Mantle Brewery in Cardigan. It's their strong amber ale called Dismantle. It's 5.8%, which is fairly strong. As you can see, it's a lot darker than the other ones. We've had this at the beer festival again in the past, been popular. Very, very different to the Hoodwinked.
So you can taste the hops. It's
very malty, isn't it?
Malty, that's the word for it. Yeah.
It's the kind of beer I think that you want to be sitting next to a roaring fire with.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is an autumn or a winter beer, but happy to drink any time of year really.
That's fine. That's lovely. So a brewery like Mantle, do they specialise in ales or lagers, or is it 50-50?
Well, Mantle's a little bit unusual in this sense because most of the small breweries tend to concentrate, not without exception, but they tend to concentrate on ales, whereas Mantle does produce two lagers, well, one regular lager and one occasional lager. So it is a bit unusual in that sense, but they manage to do both really well. So I think we could say they can specialise in both.
Excellent.
We're going to turn to beers from the Penlone Brewery now, yeah?
That's right, yeah. Penlone Cottage Brewery near Newquay. Now their beer is very, very different to Mantle. One of the main differences is bottle conditioned, which means that it's, in a sense, it's still brewing when it's in the bottle, and that involves there being sediment in the bottle. So you have to be very careful when you pour this. You put it in the fridge for a bit. Very careful when you pour it to not get the sediment, because that'll really badly affect the beer. So I think we've got away. We've managed to pour it without getting any sediment. It's a really nice beer. It's a heather honey beer, so you should be able to taste the honey. You should be able to taste the heather, which gives you a very, very different and quite distinctive flavour.
Oh yeah, you can definitely taste the honey.
It's straight away, isn't it?
And the colour, the golden colour is, and that's lovely, lovely. So Penlone, is this one of their more popular beers?
Well, I think this one's been around for a while. I have seen this one quite a bit. Now, most of their beers, or a lot of their beers, have sheep-related names.
Right.
The strongest one they do is called Ramnesia. Quite a clever play on words. There's a twin ram. There's a few different ones with sheep-related names. Now, this one doesn't have a sheep name, but it does have a picture of a sheep on the bottle. So obviously that's quite a strong part of their brand. So that it's brewed on a farm. And obviously the sheep are a big part of the landscape around it. So it's nice to see, in a sense, that piece of the locality reflected in the branding on the beer.
Fantastic.
Lovely, delicious.
Cheers. So Rob, our final beer in this video is another one from Penlone.
Yeah, that's right. Now this one is once again very different. It is bottle conditioned, as was the other, so we've had to be careful in pouring it. But this one's a stout. Now, stout is quite an old-fashioned style of beer, but still very popular. And what makes this one different is a chocolate stout. And interestingly, chocolate stout normally gets its taste from the type of malts used in the beer. This one actually contains real chocolate, which makes it a little bit different. Bit of a creamy edge to it, I think. Also, of course, because it contains chocolate, not suitable for vegans, but it is really nice. I think it's a really interesting beer.
Okay. can certainly taste the chocolate. A bit like coffee,
It's got a coffee, yeah,
and it's
really
very
strong
dark
coffee
in
taste.
colour, isn't it? Very dark. But typical stout, isn't it?
Yes, it is stout. And of course, stout is very much associated with Ireland, with Guinness. But it has been brewed in Wales for centuries. It was a really popular drink, and obviously tastes change, but it's still something that people will take today.
And I think what's good here with Penlone is that they've brought something very traditional into the 21st century and given it a modern twist. So I think the chocolate idea, the people's taste buds, it certainly give it a very modern feel to it.
And it's quite different as well from a stout, but a normal stout, you've got the chocolate in there. It really does give it a little slightly sort of sweeter taste, I think, which is quite nice.
More drinkable.
Definitely.
So we're going to talk a little bit now about the beer and brewing scene in Wales, and talk a little bit about some of the beers that have featured in our beer festivals over the years. Rob, can you tell us about some of the things that are in front of us here, some of the beers?
We've got a few bottles and cans of beer from different breweries from different parts of Wales. We've attempted no beer festivals. We've made sure that every beer we've sold has been from Wales, and we've tried to have as many local beers as we can. We've discussed the Penlone and the Mantle beers this evening. What we couldn't get this evening, sadly, was anything from Cwrw Camel in Blaen Camel, but we had their lager, Hell's Lager, and that's the pump clip for it, at our beer festival earlier this year, and it was incredibly successful. It was the first beer at our beer festival the last 6 years that we've sold more than one keg of. We sold 2 kegs. The first one sold out, the second one sold out. That was really successful. It's a very, very nice beer, and that's just brewed up the way here from us based in Blaen Camel. But we've also got beers from all parts of Wales. And what's lovely about this is these smaller breweries, they have their different styles, they have their different regional connections, they've got their own brands, their own names, and there's a story behind a lot of them, and they tend to use in often their interests or their histories to try and give a hook to get people to try the different beers.
Yeah, we've got a beer here that we had at the beer festival last year, or this year rather, La Nostra Signora, which is the name of the vessel that brought the first oranges to Wales into Tenby Harbour, and that's by Tenby Harbour Brewery, of course. So that's very interesting.
We've got another one here as well, which was it's brewed by the Glamorgan Brewing Company, called Jemima's Pitchfork, and of course that commemorates the last invasion of Britain in 1797, where the French invaded Fishguard, and Jemima Nichols led an army of women to intercept them. So it's just, there's a bit of history here. There's obviously a connection, and it's important that is to the companies that do this.
And many of them play on language as well.
Yes, I think it's very interesting that they are in Wales and they are very much aware of the Welsh language and of the Welsh heritage and culture. And I think what's fantastic is the way they can use certain words, Welsh words, which goes across to all languages, like Calon Lan, for example, a very famous hymn. And then you go to something like Tutti Frutti, which can be Welsh, but can also be something that you can identify in any language. They have, in a way, they have shown that that Welsh is very much a language that can be used commercially and crosses a lot of boundaries linguistically and culturally.
And of course you've got the brewery Cwrw Llyn, which is incredibly proud of its area, and so all of its beers are named, they're Welsh names, but they all feature things related to Penllyn, things like stories, Brennan Enlli. That's a really important part of their mission, really, is that the brewery is very much tied to the region, and that comes across very much.